Sal Cappacio, Buffalo Bills beat and sideline reporter and host on WGR in Buffalo 550. Sal, what's the vibe in Western New York as to who the fans want to be the starting quarterback for the Buffalo Bills this year?
Boy, I'll tell you what, there are so many different ways that fans are looking at that, and it depends on which fan you ask, but I think the most polarizing right now is EJ Manuel. There are just a lot of fans who are really still entrenched on EJ. They're on his bandwagon. They root hard for him. And then there's a lot of fans who just have jumped off and want no part of him right now. Matt Castle's kind of like the safe option for most fans. They realize that he may be the best way to go as far as trying to manage the game. And then a lot of fans are really intrigued by Tyrod Taylor. So I don't think you have a consensus on, who fans necessarily want, but I think EJ is clearly the most polarizing guy.
Sal, you're at every Bills practice. You tell us, who should we root for to be the starter for the Bills this year?
Oh boy, I think Tyrod Taylor fits the offense the best. I think
really?
Tyrod Taylor.
No.
If Greg Roman wants to run his best possible offense like he did in San Francisco, the guy with the skill set that can do that the best is Tyrod Taylor. So I think that would be the best fit. However, I also think Greg Roman is smart enough and good enough to be able to tailor what he wants to do to any of these guys. And if you're going to win a low-scoring, grounded-out game with a really elite defense, Matt Castle's probably the best option there.
Are you starting to get any vibe for when Rex will make this decision as to who the quarterback will be?
Well, I was told the goal is to have it settled after the second preseason game, but they are open to having it go as long as possible, including the week leading up to week 1 against the Indianapolis Colts. So Rex wants this thing settled, basically 2 weeks from tomorrow night when they take on the Cleveland Browns. A week from tomorrow night, I should say, which after the second preseason game, because they're playing a Thursday night game. So that would be the goal, but I'm not sure it's going to happen necessarily. They want to get this thing over with because here's the problem. Here's the danger, guys. You have a three-way competition. One guy, whoever it is, isn't getting enough reps necessarily now. So the longer it goes, you name that starter, he hasn't had all the starters' reps. So whereas you go to another camp, one guy is getting all those reps and he's getting ready. So you can't let it go that much further beyond a couple of weeks games of the preseason because somebody's got to get ready to play week 1.
Yeah. Sal Cappacio, Buffalo Bills beat reporter with Armen Levack on 104.5 The Team. He's of WGR on Twitter at Sal Sports. You said that Tyrod Taylor has the best skill set for this offense. Is his skill set good enough to be a starting quarterback in the NFL, Sal?
I think it is. I'm not sure how good of a starting quarterback yet. Look, this is a kid that is really an unknown, and he did play in Baltimore behind Joe Flacco for 4 years. There's been a lot of really interesting rave reviews from people like Jim Harbaugh, who said that he's much better than anybody realizes and knows. And then I think a telling tale for me, this is why I think he could be a starting quarterback. His offensive coordinator, he's had 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years. Everyone says he's very, very smart, picks up the offenses very well. But his last offensive coordinator was Gary Kubiak. When Gary Kubiak left Baltimore, he went to be the head coach of the Denver Broncos, where he is now. He tried to bring Tyrod Taylor with him. He was a free agent. He wanted Tyrod to be Peyton Manning's backup and maybe the heir apparent to Peyton Manning. Tyrod decided to come to Buffalo for a better chance to start this year. So I think that tells me when a guy like Gary Kubiak says, I'm going to handpick this guy to come with me as my new job, I think that tells me that people believe he has the skill set to be a starting quarterback in this league.
Sal, you're killing Armen. I've been saying this since camp started that Rex really likes Tyrod Taylor and there's a chance he's going to get this job. And Armen has thought I was crazy.
He loves him.
Sal, and to me, that Rex Ryan loves a lot of people, Sal. So when I hear Rex Ryan, be a cheerleader for Tyrod Taylor, big freaking deal. That does nothing to me. You know what I mean? And I've never seen Tyrod Taylor as a starting quarterback. I also haven't seen the Bills practice this year, so I'm blind in that regard. But there's a lot of stock in Tyrod Taylor because Rex says he's good. Rex says a lot of people are good.
That's a fair point. However, I'll point to this. There have been numerous press conferences by Rex Ryan where he has gone out of his way to basically tell everybody how good of a day Tyrod Taylor has and has poo-pooed even good days for EJ Manuel. It's almost like, you know what it is, guys? He said he wanted to have Tyrod in his team for 4 years. He's like, I've liked this guy. I've wanted to get him. And when it's your guy, if you like that person, you want him to succeed so you can puff your chest out and say, look, that was my call. It's kind of like a GM with a first-round risky draft pick. When the guy really performs well, he can say, look, that was me. I made that call. So I think Rex Ryan has some skin in this game. He has something at stake. He's gone on record saying, I wanted Tyrod for 4 years. I've liked him. So if he turns out to be good, it makes Rex Ryan look really good. And by the way, Doug Whaley has also really liked Tyrod Taylor. But he used 2 words last week. He called Tyrod awesome in one day. He said he was running the read options spectacular, is the word he used. And then one time E.J. Manuel has a really good practice. I thought he gets asked about it. He says, yeah, I thought he was pretty good today. I think that's just pretty telling, the way he treats both those guys in particular.
Sal Cappacio, beat writer for the Buffalo Bills, at Sal Sports on Twitter. And Sal, I think you kind of added to my feelings as well that you're right. Rex Ryan has every reason. He will look great if Tyrod Taylor succeeds, and that's why when he says Tyrod Taylor's looking great, I actually put more stock in what you say as someone who's watching Tyrod Taylor than I would Rex Ryan for that reason. But you're saying skill set. Tyrod Taylor is showing us that he belongs in the same sentence with E.J. Manuel and Matt Castle as of August 12th.
Yes, he does. And I don't know if that's necessarily just by default, though, that none of the guys are really all that great. That's the problem.
Okay.
You know, we haven't seen anyone take this job. Here's where I slow down on Tyrod, all right? Matt Castle is not Aaron Rodgers. We know that. He's not out there throwing bullets all over the field. This job is there for the taking, and neither Tyrod Taylor nor E.J. Manuel has jumped up and taken it. So that's when I put the brakes a little bit on the Tyrod talk, which is, look, I mean, he's had every opportunity. He's had a chance to go out there and really take this job because Matt Castle is Matt Castle. He's not been able to do that. He's not been any better necessarily than Matt Castle. Now, he does have a wow play almost every practice where you go, wow, that was really good. It's kind of jaw-dropping how, athletic he can be and the arm he can have. But almost on a regular basis, he also has a play that you go, oh, dude, you can't do that. Now, he's eliminating those lately. I think he's getting more consistent, which is good. But he's more of a boom or bust kind of guy. But, this job is there for the taking. He has yet to take it, and I want to see him be able to do that. By the way, last Saturday night in the scrimmage, Rex Ryan did say he was disappointed in Tyrod Taylor's night, which was interesting because he said, I've seen him make some of those throws for touchdowns, and he missed them. So I thought that was interesting as well. Tyrod's going to have a great opportunity here. Friday, he'll get some time, obviously, in the first preseason game. But Monday and Tuesday next week, guys, keep an eye on those 2 dates because the Cleveland Browns come to Rochester. The Bills will have joint practices and scrimmage, basically, for 2 days. And I've been told that's really when they're going to try and get a feel for what these quarterbacks can do against a different set of defensive backs.
Sal, when you look at this running game, we're hearing it's going to be the biggest running playbook in the history of mankind, yet the guys are starting to get hurt who are going to run that football. What are you seeing in this running game, and what are your hopes for it?
Well, LaShawn McCoy is still healthy, and knock on wood, he stays that way. But you're right, Bobby Dixon and Fred Jackson are out. I'll tell you, first of all, on the injury front, the one thing that's done is, the old cliche, someone goes down, someone else gets an opportunity. There's a kid they have named Carlos Williams. They drafted him out of Florida State. He's a converted defensive back, the running back. He didn't run the ball all that well at Florida State last year, but he has looked really good so far filling in for those guys. He's 6'1", 230. He runs a 4.4 40, and he has a lot of power in what Greg Roman wants to do. A one-cut running back goes downhill. So I think he fits what they want to do very well. And if Boobie and Fred are out for an extended period of time, I think this kid has a chance to be someone who can contribute running the football. That said, LaShawn McCoy looks every bit as dangerous as he has over the last several years of his career. He's had the best blocking fullback in the league now in front of him, and Jerome Felton, an underrated signing by this team that they got him for a very specific reason to make sure that they can pave the way for LaShawn McCoy. What you see from Greg Roman is a very diversified playbook. He loves to use multiple different personnel. He'll put 2 tight ends and a fullback on the field. He'll use tight ends in all different ways as H-backs to split out, and that's why it's the biggest playbook. He might not have the most plays, but he runs the most plays out of the most incredibly diverse set of formations and personnel packages you can imagine.
WGR, Sal Cappacio with Armen Levack, 104.5 The Team. Sal, we have got to know, what is the reaction in Buffalo amongst the players and coaches with Geno Smith getting punched in the locker room out 6 to 10 weeks?
We will find out today, guys. Rex Ryan will speak to the media. They practiced tonight, so we'll find out today. I'll tell you what, it's been interesting this offseason. There's been a little bit of a war of words between Rex and some of the Jets players. Jason Morrow, the tight end, came out and said people weren't accountable in the Rex Ryan locker room. Someone else whose name escapes me basically said camp is different. It was too loose under Rex. No, it's It's tighter. They talk a lot in New York about the different culture in the locker room. Well, guess what? Guys aren't punching the starting quarterback in the face in the Buffalo Bills locker room last I checked. So I have a feeling that Rex might have something to say, but at the same time, he drafted Geno Smith. He's a Geno Smith supporter. I know he likes Geno as a person, and I'm guessing, Rex is going to say some heartfelt things about Geno, how he feels really bad for him, because he should. That's a horrible thing that happened, and that kid had an opportunity to really start off on a better foot this year, and he didn't get it. But we'll hear from Rex today, I'm sure, about it.
What is the are there any wagers there with the press about Cappacio getting a chance to play for the Bills?
That's an interesting question. I don't see it happening, but never rule anything out with Rex Ryan and even Doug Whaley. Doug Whaley's proven he's going to go out and he's going to do whatever he can to help this roster. This is why I think it won't, though. He's an outside linebacker. They don't need one. They have a really good set of outside linebackers. Now, if he was inside, I would think maybe they might need some depth there, but they really don't. He only played 6 games last year. But Rex Ryan, don't put it past him. He is a Rex guy. He played for him last year. So, if there's a jet floating out there that knows Rex's defensive system, don't ever put it past Rex or Dennis Thurman to say this guy can help us because he's smart enough to know what we're doing.
WGR, Sal Cappacio knows his stuff, man. Check him out on Twitter, @SalSports. Sal, we're going to be there Monday doing our show live from Bills camp. We're going to most likely bug you. Just a fair forewarning.
Hey, man, you guys come up and talk anytime. I love it. You know what? You're going to be there for a great day because they got the Browns coming in. It's going to be fun seeing Dante Whitner back in Buffalo with the fans getting all over him the way they're going to. He had a little bit of a war of words last year on Twitter with Sammy Watkins, so I'm really interested to see how that happens. And the Browns may be one of the teams in the league with a worse quarterback situation than the Bills. So
that's right.
It's going to be fun. You guys are going to be out there for a good day.
Johnny F. Up live in person. Sal, looking forward to it, man. We'll see you Monday.
All right, guys. Take care. Thanks for calling.